You heard it. $15,000 was made yesterday using the Silva method. And it's so crazy how everything worked out, from sleeping with the images to the next day, the money coming into the exact amount that I needed to pay this particular person. In this video, I'm going to be breaking down how I manifested $15,000 in a single day using the Silva method. And guys, 15,000 a day is kind of normal to me. I'll be transparent, but what's happening with this was how crazily into the exact amount of money that I needed, that I wanted to manifest, that it came in. So if you stick to this video, you learn the story, you learn how to apply this to your life, I think you can make some money yourself. Even if it's $500, $1,000, $15,000 like myself, 50,000, it's all irrelevant. So let's get into it. So as you guys know, I run a mindset coaching business, right? That's literally what I do. I've been doing this now for 5 years. So I need a little bit of strategy, right? And so let me tell you a story. I wanted to hire this coach. His name is William Brown. He's the guy that Neuro Knowledge hired to help scale his business. So I'm like, okay, I want to hire this guy named William Brown, and he costs $15,000 a month. Okay. So I'm talking to my business partner, Ali, and I'm like, Ali, I want to hire this guy named William, and he's 15K a month. And logically, I had done the research and I knew that this guy was the right guy for me. And so, but in my heart, I was like, you know what? I want to work with him, even though like the $15,000, like whatever, like I'll pay this. But here was a particular thing. I didn't want to use my money. Okay. And this is how you should think. I learned this from Grant Cardone. Somebody else has your money. I don't care what business you're in right now watching this. You're in sales and somebody else has your money. So I'm not going to pay for this $15,000 a month. One of my clients are. Okay. So I didn't want to use any of my money in my savings, my crypto, or any money in my bank account. I wanted to use new money that was going to come in to pay this guy, William Brown, to help scale my coaching business to the next level. So here's the first step. In the conscious mind, if you're going to want to use the Silva method to manifest money or do the same things that I've done, the first step is in the conscious mind. You're going to have to make a logical decision. Is this the right person for you? Is this the right amount of money that you want? You have to make a choice. And I've talked about this so many different times on the channel, but you guys don't understand. Even clients, I'm working with them and I'm working with them on a one-on-one level. Sometimes they don't understand. And I've been working with them for months. And I want you guys to truly understand. The first step is you have to get very clear on what's the amount of money. What do you plan to give for the money? What do you plan, like what's your plan for the money? Like you have to create this. There's no such thing as something for nothing. You can't just sit on this couch and manifest the money. That's not how this works, okay? So the first thing is I made a logical decision in my conscious mind, exactly the amount of money that I wanted, what I planned to give for the money, and then I just waited for it. And it was a logical decision. I was going to work with this guy. But here was the secret part that most people will sleep on. And this is the one that's going to change everything for you. You have to pass it from the conscious mind to the heart, from the conscious mind to the subconscious mind. I then went into a state where it was in my heart that I was already working with them. The way I like to explain it is this. Imagine window shopping versus being in the store. Imagine somebody's like, let's just say they want to buy a Rolex watch. Okay. So they're looking at the Rolex store and they're window shopping. They're thinking, man, it would be nice to have a Rolex. It'd be nice to have one. It would be, where would I get the money from? Where can I get $15,000 to buy a Rolex, right? These are the kind of questions that a window shopper would be looking at. But what would be the difference if you were already inside the Rolex store buying it already? You might be thinking, would I get insurance for it? Do I have a case for it? How do I keep it clean? When is the maintenance schedule, right? It's a different set of questions. Do you understand me? Being a window shopper versus being in the store. I think you're following me here. This is the feeling state you need to be on when you make a decision. Make the logical decision of what you want, but then you have to pass it to the heart using this, not as a window shopper, but inside. So now that I just decided to work with this guy, William Brown, I didn't ask like, okay, where's the 15K going to come from? I don't want to use my money, all this stuff. I started thinking to myself, okay, I'm working with William Brown already, and this is what it's going to look like. We're going to scale to this level. He's going to help me do this. And most importantly, I let go. I surrendered. And this is where a lot of you guys struggle, is you're trying to do it yourself. You have to let go and let God. Once you put it in your heart, you surrender it, and then you enter the store and live from the state as if it's done already. Stop wondering how you're going to do it. Where's the money going to come from? How you're going to get the money? That's where you guys are struggling. Why you keep in this self-perpetuating cycle? I had planted it in my heart that I was going to work with this guy. But most importantly, I didn't want to use my own money for this, because why would I want to do that when I have a business to do this, right? So then the next step is this: action. Remember, we live on 3 planes of existence: thoughts, feelings, and actions. So now we have to go to the action part. We cover the thought part, right? Logic and making a decision. We cover the feeling part, which is operating from inside the store rather than window shopping. Now the third part is action. I had to take action. So the first step is I want to talk about the vacuum when creating action. Here's how the vacuum works. By taking certain actions and feeling states as if you have the thing that you manifested, it creates a vacuum in the universe, a frequency of vacuum in the universe where the universe has to match your frequency and bestow it upon you. Let me give you an example. So the first example I want to give you is when I was sleeping on the couch when I was just started with Bob Proctor. I had packed my bags because I knew I couldn't sleep on that couch anymore. This is 2020. I couldn't sleep on that couch anymore, and I knew I had to get to Medellin, Colombia. So I packed my bags even when I had no money, not even $30 to my name. I packed my bags and got ready to take my flight. And guess what? Within 24 hours, the money showed up. I bought my flight and I was on my way with my bags that were already packed. That's an example of creating a vacuum with action so the universe can match you. That's one. Now, in this particular case, what I did was I started looking at my investments, right? I started thinking, okay, do I want to pay cash? Do I want to pay crypto? Do I want to pay on a credit card? Like, what's the ways I wanted to pay? And this is like all within like an hour, right? I went from decision, I want to do this, to put it in my heart, I'm going to work with them, let go and let God, to now looking at my investments or my cash to see how I want to pay this guy. It's $15,000 a month, not one time. Okay. So while I'm looking at my investments, I'm taking action. I'm thinking to myself, I don't want to use my money. Why don't I have somebody else pay for this? And now this goes into where the Silva method comes in. I need you guys to pay attention. Some people left already. And I guess what? They didn't make as much money as what I'm talking about right now. Their attention span is so crazy on TikTok, on YouTube. They have 3 other tabs open that they can't even focus on what I'm saying right now. And I'm teaching them literally how to make money. I've made $500,000 this year. My business on track to do $1.5 to $2 million my first year with this brand new business on YouTube. I've already done 7 figures with the first one with Bob, and I'm scaling it. I'm teaching you guys how to do this completely for free. And some people can't even pay attention. So I know you're locked in. Let's pay attention now. So let's go now where the Silva method comes in. See, all this stuff I've been talking about in this last 7 minutes or so is all the Bob Proctor stuff that I've been studying that I teach to my clients, right? Now we're going to go to the latter half, which is the meditation where the Silva method gets in. Okay, now let me tell you a brief little story about the Silva method. It's something I'm studying with the Mind Valley. I studied it a couple of years ago, but I want to get back into it because I know this mindset stuff. I do this for a living, but I really wanted to get back into some meditations, right? We have Dr. Joe Dispenza meditations. We have Silva Method meditations. We have Gateway Process, Hemi-Sync meditations, right? There's different meditation series that I've done, but this particular case, I want to do something light like the Silva Method, okay? So I've been studying it. And one of the big principles of the Silva Method, especially the meditations, is the mental movie meditation, where basically right before you go off to bed, you visualize exactly what you want, and then you drift off to sleep. If you guys are paying attention, it sounds very similar to what? The Neville Goddard method. Sleeping, going to sleep with the feeling of the wish fulfilled, but most importantly, sleeping with the images on your mind. And the reason that the Silva method kind of popped back in my head, and in a minute, I'll teach you how to apply it, don't worry. The reason this popped back in my head was I was practicing with the Neville Goddard sleeping method. If you guys know the ladder method, go imagine yourself climbing a ladder, climbing up and down before going off to sleep. Okay. I was doing that and I climbed the ladder twice, one within 24 hours, and one I just did it again about maybe a week or two after, right? Right. So I climbed the ladder twice. I'm like, okay, am I just going to climb ladders all day? Or am I going to apply it to something else? So then it kind of got me discovering the Silva method again. So with the Silva method, you go to sleep, visualizing what you want. So here I am. I want to hire this coach. Logically makes sense to help me scale strategically. I put it in my heart that I was already working with him. I was already thinking of past. I wasn't thinking about how to get the money. I was already thinking of past level things. I was already in the store. Okay. And now I was in the place where I'm going to go to sleep with the feeling that I'm already working with this guy. And here's another very important part that I think that opened up the door for me is this. I let go and let God. I got on my knees. I surrendered to God. And I said, God, if this is the thing that you want me to do to scale my business to the next level, because the business that I am in is a positive energy that impacts people in a positive way. I know the spiritual energies around myself, my business, my clients, and the things that I do are for expansion. Therefore, if it's not expanding, it's me. So Father Lord, if this is something that you would like me to do to hire him so he can help me expand my message, please let me know. So I surrendered it. I didn't go to sleep thinking, how is the money going to come? Where is it going to come from? I wasn't stressing. This is where a lot of you guys do. You start asking how questions. You start asking low vibrational questions. Asking how is a low vibrational question. Asking who or surrendering to God is a higher frequency question that you can ask. Like let go, surrender. So I surrendered, and remember, the most important part is it was in my heart already that I was there. So I go to sleep, and I do exactly what Neville Goddard and Silva Method talks about, which is I went to sleep as if it was done. I visualized the money. I visualized myself working. I visualized what it was like, my $400,000 months after hiring William Brown. And so the next morning, I get a text message from one of my clients, and it's time for him to pay off the program, right? So his final payment was $3,500. So he's like, "Hey D, I got to pay off the program. Can you send me an invoice for $3,500?" So I'm in bed, right? This is less than 12 hours after I'm deciding. This is within a 12-hour span here. So I get a text message from him in the morning, still in bed. I sent an invoice for $3,500. Okay, great. Didn't think much of it. Then out of nowhere, he texts me and said, "Hey, DeAndre, is your one-on-one open?" I said, "Sure, the one-on-one is open." He's like, "Well, how much would I have to pay?" And so this particular client had already paid me, $8,000 or so for the month. So my one-on-one is $20,000 a month. So I was like, okay. I sent him the final numbers and stuff, and I sent them, not thinking about it. By the way, I just sent him the final numbers, and I collected the money. And you know exactly what he sent me? I sent him another check for $11,000 and some Zelle. Right? It came out to exactly $15,000. Guys, let me tell you this: the next day, I had manifested the exact amount of money, and I want to tell you this even more. The money that hit my account after fees and everything, right? The money that hit my account was the exact to the cent that I had to send to William Brown to hire him. I kid you not. The money came straight into my account. I wired it to William Brown, and not a single cent was used out of my own account. Is that crazy or not? Now, for some of you, you might be thinking, well, you already have a business. Great. Yes, there's no such thing as something for nothing. You thought I was just going to manifest the money. I had to provide a service. I have to provide value to the world. And that's how the money comes. That's why I earn the money that I earn, is because I run a business that allows me to do that. And you can do the same. So I put it in my heart, and that's what starts to happen. You can do it your same. I highly encourage you, if you want to try this for yourself, you can do the Neville Goddard ladder method, or visualize yourself doing whatever it is that you want to manifest. And in less than 3 days, you start to have it come into the amount that you want. So guys, when I saw the exact amount leave my bank account, that was what I need to hire. I knew that this was the method. That was it. And this is what I'm continuing to do to grow the YouTube channel, to grow my bank account, to grow my business. And I encourage you to try it yourself. Guys, if you want to learn how to do this, like step by step, with a coach, what I highly recommend you do is reach out to me on Instagram. Let's have a conversation. A lot of you guys are watching my channel over and over and over again thinking, man, you're trying it and it's not really working. Well, because I've been doing this, like I'm a professional at this, okay? So imagine having a professional on your side to help you. So if this is something where you'd want some help to help scale your business, I'm not gonna lie, it's a 4-figure investment. Don't worry about the $20,000 a month. That's my one-on-one clients. That's for people that are already my clients. But for some of you that are just starting out, you have a 4-figure investment, reach out to me. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about scaling you. Let's talk about getting you into turning you into a testimonial. So you can check that out on my Instagram, or just message me. Low pressure. But anyways, apply it to your life. You'll get some good results. I'll see you in the next video.